गुरुरात्मेति
ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति
मूर्तिभेदविभागिने
मूर्तिभेदविभागिने
व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय
व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय
दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः।
दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः।
सदाशिवसमारम्भाम्
सदाशिवसमारम्भाम्
शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम्
शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम्
अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम्
अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम्
वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्।
वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्।
ॐ सहना भवतु।
सहना भवतु।
सहनौ भुनक्तु।
सहनौ भुनक्तु।
सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै।
सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै।
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै।
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै।
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
शान्ति शान्तिः।
ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं।
ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं।
व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम्।
व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम्।
अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम्।
अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम्।
अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्।
अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्।
यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतस्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः।
यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतस्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः।
वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदै गायन्ति यं सामगाः।
वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैर्गायन्ति यं सामगाः।
ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः।
ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति योगिनः।
यस्यान्तन्न विदुः सुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः।
यस्यान्तन्न विदुः सुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः।
रागद्वेषवियुक्तैस्तु विषयानिन्द्रियैश्चरन् आत्मवश्यैर्विधेयात्मा प्रसादमधिगच्छति प्रसादे सर्वदुःखानां हानिरस्योपजायते प्रसन्नचेतसो ह्याशु बुद्धिः पर्यवतिष्ठते नास्ति बुद्धिरयुक्तस्य न चायुक्तस्य भावना न चाभावयतः शान्तिः अशान्तस्य कुतः सुखम् इन्द्रियाणां हि चरतां यन्मनोनुविधीयते तदस्य हरति प्रज्ञां वायुर्नावमिमाम्भसि तस्माद्यस्य महाबाहो निगृहीतानि सर्वशः इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता या निशा सर्वभूतानां तस्यां जागर्ति संयमी यस्यां जागृति भूतानि सा निशा पश्यतो मुनेः. We are seeing Sthita Pragnasya Lakshanani, all shlokas. It starts, Sthita Pragna Lakshanani shloka starts from 56, nearly over on 72. But only what I have once mentioned, 56, 57 and 58, only Lakshanani has been mentioned. Means characteristics of Sthita Pragna, and the meaning of Sthita Pragna is who has well-established self-knowledge. A self-knowledge is one who imbibed, is called Sthita Pragnaha, is only discussed in 3 verses. Rest from 58 to 68, sadhanani. So if we would also like become a Sthita Pragna, which type of sadhana we have to go through, that have been discussed in 10 verses. So it starts from 58 and from 60 up to 68. And last 69, 70 and even 71, again Sthita Pragna Lakshanani will start. We have still up till, but this all 52 to 68 verses are sadhanani. Once I have told one line in Sanskritam, Sthita Pragnasya Lakshanani Sadhakasya Sadhanani. So which sadhana we have gone through is discussed in 58 to 68 verse. And again I would like to share with you what type of sadhana we need and which sadhana have been discussed in shlokas is only 3 sadhana. We can say is one is called Nididhyasanam, another is called Indriya Nigraha, and third one is called Mano Nigraha. In Vedantic language, we can say Indriya Nigraha is Damaha and Mano Nigraha is called Shamaha. And Nididhyasan, all we know, but why Bhagavan has given so much emphasis in 3 sadhanas? Because if our Indriya are not in our control, so at the time of learning, at the time of study, they can go out in their own field of sense object, so they never allow person to sit peacefully. That's why to keep all sense organ under control, it's called Indriya Nigraha. if our sense organs are under control, but still our mind is not under control, then also mind can goes away while listening, mind can goes away while meditation. That's why Bhagavan have given more emphasis in Manonigraha. And we have seen how can we can regulate our thought process, how can we regulate our sense organs. And last one we have seen this Nididhyasana, means we have to meditate upon what we learn during the class, what is our real nature. So more and more we keep on meditating, then only all the impressions about our body, mind, sense or complex will go. So all three sadhana have been discussed here. Nothing more than this is discussed. And while studying, I have also told that these all three sadhanas are discussed. And now, Tasmadasya Mahabaho, even before that, let me tell, this all, Prasade Sarva Dukham, I have started from here because when our mind is not calm, Prasanna Chetaha means when our mind is tranquil, then only knowledge Paryavatishtate. Here knowledge means self-knowledge can be well established in our mind when our mind is prasanna chetasaha. I can say when our mind is cheerful. When is always in cheerful mood, then only self-knowledge can stay. And again Bhagavan says, Nasti buddhihi ayuktasya nachayuktasya bhavana. We have seen all this, but still I think after a long time we are seeing, that's why little bit. Ayuktasya, 2 times Bhagavan has repeated. The meaning of ayuktasya is one whose mind is not tranquil, one whose mind is not under control, that person, nasti buddhihi. So that person doesn't have any qualification to get self-knowledge. Buddhihi, nasti buddhihi, it doesn't mean he doesn't have buddhi. But nasti buddhihi, the meaning is that person who is not calm-minded, in that person, self-knowledge cannot stay. Even though I keep on listening, still it cannot stay. And at the same time, ayuktasya bhavana nasti. One, a person whose mind is not calm, that person cannot sit in meditation. Here bhavana means nididhyasana. Here bhavana means meditation. That person cannot sit for meditation. And one who cannot sit for meditation, shantihi na shantihi. That person cannot get shantihi, means peace. And one who doesn't have peace, that person uta sukham. How can that person can have happiness? So all our happiness is dependent on our mind only. And Bhagavan says, what happens if our mind is not under control? Then he says, 2 things happen in day-to-day life. Our all sense organ, charatam, he always graze among the sense object field. If I likes a different type of object, our ear like to hear different type of music. So it's called indriyanam hi charatam. That person, even that lets that sense organ moves in that field. But when mind follows, manaha anuvidhiyate, when mind follows our sense organ, then what will happen? Pragnam harati, that mind will robbed away our jnanam. Tatya harati pragnam. Pragnam means self-knowledge. Our all understanding will be robbed away by our mind. That's why Bhagavan says, Tasmadasya Mahabaho. The meaning of tasmadasya means tasmadasya for that sense. In English, we are proving some in I think geometry. When we are young, no, in geometry we have to prove some rider. At that time we write it is siddham. It's proven. Same way tasmat. So the meaning of tasmat, therefore, because mind is tricky, because sense organs are very tricky. That's why sarvashah nigruhitani. That we are saying now. We are in this. Tasmadasya mahabaho nigruhitani sarvashah. Sarvashah means from all field, all indriyani should be in our control. One who can able to do this, tasya pragna pratishtita. One time will come that person's all understanding of self will be well established. That we have seen. And up to here, this whole sadhanani topic is over. Now again Bhagwan has picked up lakshanani of jnani. And that we have discussed last one. Yanisha sarva bhutanam. And this is called Granthi Shloka. I have told. The meaning of Granthi Shloka is, it is take time to understand. It's like a knot. To untie the knot will take time. Same way, this shloka takes time to understand. So, ya nisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagarti sanyami. So, here also nisha word has been used, and here also nisha word has been used. The meaning of nisha, really speaking, is night. In night is always dark. So nisha is equal to night, and night is equal to darkness. And darkness is compared as a ignorance. That's why the meaning of here nisha means ignorance. Sarva bhutanam ya nisha. For all being, what is ignorant? The whole jagat considered as a true, is a real, is called ignorance. Ya nisha sarva bhutana means mostly all being considered this word is a real, is a nisha, is a totally ignorance. So here nisha means equal to avidya janita agnanam. Let me write only agnanam, means ignorance. And ignorance of what? They say we have three types of ignorance. They say, one, we have ignorant about the word jiva. The word jiva. Second, Ishvara. And third one is Jagat. With reference to three words, we are ignorant. When Jiva word comes, we think ourselves very helpless. This thinking is called Jiva thinking. We think Ishvara is all power, all knowledge, and Ishvara is sitting somewhere. If we think like this is also called ignorance. And third is Jagat. Whatever happening in this world is ultimate truth. This thinking is also called ignorance. Vedanta says, Jagat, what we are giving too much importance, really speaking, is not real. It's as good as a dream. Always we say dream is not real. Same way, this Jagat is not real, is the truth. Same way, generally people think Ishvara is sitting somewhere else. But According to Shastra, Ishavasamidam Sarvam. Whole Jagat is nothing but Ishvara, and what we think, Jiva is very small, ignorant. But according to Shastra, there is no distance between Jiva and Ishvara. But who thinks like this regarding Jiva, Ishvara and Jagat, that Agnanam is called Nisha. So Sarva Bhutanam Ya Nisha. For all being, one who thinks this thing, in this Agnanam, Tasyam Nishayam means in this Agnanam, Sanyami Jagarti. Sanyami means Sthita Pragna. Sanyami means Atmavit. Sanyami means Brahmavit. One who knows oneself is called Sanyami. That person, Jagarti means he knows, awake. Whatever happening is here is not true. That he knows, it's called Jagarti. So Tasyam Jagarti Sanyami. So first line I think is clear. Nisha means Agnanam. Agnanam regarding Jiva, Ishvara and Jagat. One who thinks Jagat is real is also Agnanam. Ishvara is sitting somewhere else is also Agnanam. And I am very small, insignificant. Think for oneself is also Agnanam. And mostly people think like this. It's called Sarva Bhutanam Ya Nisha. Wow. In such Agnanam, very rare. That's why only singular Bhagavan has used. Tasyam Nishayam Agnanasya Nidrayam Sanyami Jagarti. That Gnani knows this is not real. Jagat is not real. I am not separate for Ishvara. Me and Ishvara, ultimate, are only one. This thinking is called Jagarti. Tasyam Jagarti Sanyami. And again, in second line, Yasyam Jagrati Bhutani. Sa Nisha Pashyato. Yasyam Jagrati Bhutani. Bhutani again, all beings awake, in which Yasyam means Nishayam. Here Yasyam means in seventh case, in which darkness, all people here Jagrati is not awake. But really speaking, the Jagrati means one who do all Vyavhara, take as a real. Ultimate Satyam, the problem of us is we take all Vyavhara in Jagat is ultimate truth. That is called Yasyam Bhutani Jagrati. All being which are do all Vyavhara is a true Jagarti. Sa Nisha Pashyato Mune. For that they are doing all Vyavhara. Gnani knows this is Nisha. Really, all beings are doing all Vyavhara as a true, but it is not a waking state, but it is a darkness. So both side Nisha consider as a Agnanam only. First line also, but here Mune hai Nisha Pashyataha. Here Pashyataha Mune hai means one same thing. Sanyami is equal to Pashyataha is equal to Muni. All three words Bhagavan has used, meaning is same. Sanyami is also self-knower. Pashyataha means one who sees clearly. One own nature is also self-knower. And Muni also, one who has contemplative mind, is also Atmavit. So all three, that Gnani knows, all people do Vyavhara, consider as a real. For that they say it is doing all activity is called Nisha because of ignorance only. But that person knows. This we have seen in before 1 month. Sa Nisha Pashyato Munehe. So I think, let me say. But still I have written all with, we have seen also, Sarva Bhutanam Ya Nisha. For common people, Nisha consider as a duality is real. Sukhi Dukhi, Janma Mrityu all are real, is considered as a Nisha. In that Nisha, Sanyami Jagarti. With reference to that ignorance, a person who is self-knowledge, he knows this is not real. It's called Sanyami Jagarti. who awakes from the ignorance. It's called Jagrati. So here, Nisha is the ignorance, and Shankaracharya ji has written, Paramartha Tattva Agocharatvat. One who doesn't know the ultimate truth. That's why it's called Nisha, ignorance. And another, Yasyam Bhutani Jagrati, in which all people are doing different type of Vyavahara. So Shankaracharya has written, Grahya Grahak Bheda Lakshanaya. Always I'm a receiver, somebody is received. It's called Grahya Gar. Grahya is the object and we all are receiver. Always we think somebody is different from me. Is a Dvaita. Yasyam Nishayam Bhutani Jagrati. But Shankaracharya is related, it is not Jagrati, but Suptaha Eva Swapna Drashtaha. When we are dreaming, at that time, see, we are seeing everything is very much true. But when we are wake up, then we can say this dream is not true. Same way, this waking stage also is as good as a dream. So when we are doing Vyavahara, Bhutani Jagrati, we do all Vyavahara, but for Gnani, he says, this Vyavahara also, because of ignorance, Sanisha, for that person, is like a ignorance. So here, Gnani's Lakshanani is again described by Ishvara. So Gnani, in spite of doing all Vyavahara, Gnani knows this is not ultimate truth. I always used to say, we need not to take self-knowledge. Let it be, we don't have any type of experience of self-knowledge, but we can give 100% truthfulness. Shraddha we have on Shastra, and if Shastra says this Jagat is not ultimate truth, then we should not give that much importance to day-to-day life experiences. Most of us always depressed. Most of us are always happy because of external experience. Consider as a ultimate truth. Only if we think like that, this is not ultimate truth, then this thinking also consider as a shock absorber. According to Pujya Swamiji's language, shock absorbance means when we start thinking somebody insult us, we say, it's like a Nisha, this is not ultimate truth. Then whatever they try to hurt us, we cannot be hurt. Same way, sometimes is a experience of happiness, need not be elated, much. Even we are more elated, then also trouble. So even this is not ultimate truth. If we consider, if we receive each and every experience in our life, this is not ultimate truth, because the truth should not be temporary. Truth should be permanent. It always with us. External things are always temporary, impermanent. It can be not truth. This thinking saved us. This thinking help us from different type of shocks are coming from Jagat. So let we not be Gnani, but this simple thinking save us from different type of sorrow, different type of shock in our life. So this is what Bhagavan has described the Gnani, and this the last 70 verse. Again, what is this composer of Jnani is compared with ocean. Like a ocean, same way the mind of a Jnani is like an ocean. So this is very beautiful verse. Apuryamanam machala pratishtham samudramapah pravishanti yatvat tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve sa shantimapnoti na kamakami. It says, yadvat, and here, tadvat, like this is called yadvat. Tadvat means same like this. So it is comparative. Yadvat is a comparative. And here samudram apah pravishanti. Main sentence is apah samudram pravishanti. Waters enter in the ocean. So apah samudram pravishanti, and these two words apuryamanam and achalam pratishtham are considered as the adjective of samudram, ocean. So which type of ocean? Apuryamanam samudram, one, and achalam pratishtham samudram. Both are very good adjective have been used by Bhagavan. So all water enter in this type of samudra, and at the same way, sarve kamaha, all objects of sense object, yam pravishanti. Yam means sthita pragnam pravishanti. That person shantim apnoti. If one person's mind is like samudra, and if all objects are coming in his mind, his or her mind, but still he always remain calm, always composed. Shantim apnoti na kamakami. Let's see now what Bhagavan would like to say. Apaha samudram pravishanti. But which type of apuryamanam achalam pratishtham? Apuryamanam, the meaning is full. Pujya Swamiji has written brimful. The really speaking is totally full. But at the same time, in spite of being full, that ocean never crosses its boundary. In spite of full. That's why apuryamanam. Means up to level, 100% full, still achalam pratishtham. He is always steady. He is always well grounded. It never crosses its own borders, except tsunami. But most generally, it never crosses the border. And why? Bhagavan has used two type of adjective, Apuryamanam is always full. It is always full in own glory. For its fullness, ocean doesn't need others' water. To fullness of this oceanness, ocean doesn't need even rain. Ocean doesn't need even rainwater, even river's water also. Without rain, without river, always samudra is apuryamanam. If drought is there, it never dries up. Even more waters, flooded water comes up, it still never goes out. So it's called full. Full, the meaning of full is always remain full, never less, never high also. It remains always as it is. So it's called Purnam, one. And Achalam Pratishtham, well grounded still, but it is written, it doesn't depend upon even rain or river. Sometimes when we say it doesn't depend on rain or river, it means it is independent. Ocean is independent. But rain is dependent on ocean. But ocean is not dependent on rain or river. Without ocean, rain clouds are not possible, but without rain, ocean is possible. That's why is Achalam Pratishtham, one meaning. And even sometime no river, no water in the river, still achalam pratishtam, is always full. So it says, it's called, what I say is 100% independent. That's why I have written, rain depends on ocean, river also depends on rain, but ocean is without rain, even without rivers also is always full. Let it become still full, let rivers not come inside the ocean, still it's full. It's called achalam, always well established. And at the same time, it never crosses its boundary. And on other side, if I have taken pond, well, and tank, they all are not independent. They always dependent on any type of water. He says pond always dependent on rain. Without rain, pond cannot be full. And even excess rain, then it always goes out. Less rain, then remains small. So 100% pond is dependent on what? Others, river only, rain only. But at the same time, Samudra doesn't need anyone to, it's called independent. Same way, well, in our big land, well also need rain. Even our small tank inside our house need water. They all are what? So they all are dependent. They all are not independent, but our ocean is always what? Independent. Same way, the mind of Jnani is like ocean. That's why I say, Sarve Kamaha, Bhagavan says, so Bhagavan has compared mind of Jnani with Samudram, with ocean. Bhagavan says, Kamaha Pravishanti. The meaning here, Kama, is always object of what sense organs like. So I have written is not Kama Yate iti Kama. Here Kaman is not desire. Generally, Kamaha is desire. I like this, this like is called desire. But Shankaracharya ji has given Vyutpatti, etymology of this Kama, Kama Yate iti Kaman. What we desired and it comes in mind is called Kama. So it says, and which type of Kama? So generally, Atmagnani doesn't go after clothes. Atmagnani doesn't go after a worldly thing, but at the same time, Gnani has to face different type of situation. No? He is a human being, and being human being, he has to face different type of situation, and that also considered as Kamaha. So Shankaracharya has written, sometimes success comes, sometimes failure comes. Sometimes respect comes, sometimes hurt also he has or she has to face. Sometimes pleasure, sometimes pain. Sometimes auspicious thing, Shubhaha, and sometimes in his or her house, unauspicious, which is not good, maybe happen. Somebody's death is not auspicious, sometimes auspicious, but in all situation, the mind of Jnani is like Apuryamanam. That's why it's written, Apuryamanam means Gnani's mind also, Purnam, is a full, but full with what? One's own Swarupa. This person knows, I am not a simple, small mind, but I am all-pervading consciousness. And being known this, his mind is always cheerful. Full means cheerful. So if success comes, he has no complaint. If failure comes, he has no complaint. In each, both pairs of opposite is called Kamaha Pravishanti, but still that person remain always calm, always composed. That person, and why it doesn't have any type of complaint, Ya Nisha Sarva Bhutanam. Actually, that person knows this success, failure, respect, hurt, pleasure, pain always happen in Jagat. Means in this word, in word also not real. And word is not real, then why should I give such important? That's why Kamaha Pravishanti. He has to face each and every situation, but Saha Shanti Mapnoti. That person always get Shanti only. I have shared with you or not, I don't know. But in our Gujarati, there is one very good Bhakta, Narsi Mehta, which Gandhiji used to say, no, Vaishnav Jana to tene kahiye, is very famous, is written by Narsi Mehta, and that Narsi Mehta was Gruhasti. He has one daughter and one son. So his son got married. Then when this whole process came back with bride, Kanya, they entered in the house and snake bites Narsi Mehta's son. And on the spot, he died immediately after marriage. But still, he says, whatever Ishwar likes, he has done. I have no complaint. Je game jagat jagdishne te tano khar kharo folk karo is Gujarati. But he says, why should I be sorrowful? Whatever Ishwara likes, he did. It's called Shanti Mapnoti. Whatever comes, Shanti Mapnoti. That's why I have written, no shatter, no flatter. Both, whatever comes, he always remain what? Calmful, peaceful. So Shanti Mapnoti. On the opposite, Bhagwan has written, na kamakami. The meaning of kamakami means like a pond-like person. What if a pond has water, then it's become full. If pond, there is no rain, it becomes dry. Same way, the kamakami means one who doesn't have self-knowledge, one who always here kami means desires. Desired person, and who he desires what? Different type of sense object. That person, Shantim na apnoti. Na kama kami means what is the meaning of na? So na apnoti Shantim. That person never get a peace of mind. He never gets a Shanti. Because why? That person seeking happiness outside. Only that problem generally people have. Why people are upset on and off? Because they think that person doesn't talk with me, then what will I do? Immediately we become hurt, feeling hurt, and we become sorrowful. But that's why I have told, seeking tendency, seeking approval tendency because of Agnana only. If we wear a good sari, but nobody is to approve, oh, why today you are looking very beautiful. If nobody says, then we become, more sorrowful because nobody has appreciation. So kamakami means one who needs appreciation from outside. It's called kamakami because they are not apuryamanam. They are not achalam pratishtham. Achalam pratishtham means, I say, 100% independent. But they are not achalam pratishtham, they are chalak pratishtham. They always depends on others for her or his happiness. Even I have seen many people, if somebody give not too much important. Just now I remembered that Daksha Prajapati, father of Sati, he also upset. Why? Shankara doesn't get up. In his in assembly, all gets up when Daksha Prajapati entered, because he is announced as a Prajapati. So when he announced, the all Devi Devata comes to give him respect. Shankara also has gone, but he was sitting in meditation. He doesn't know when Daksha Prajapati has come. So he doesn't get up. Daksha Pradapati never seen who are gets up, but he only seen who is not gets up. And then he saw Shankara is not gets up, then whole anger goes on Shankara. It's called Kama Kama because he is desired of what? Respect. That person na shanti mapnoti. So that person never get a peace because our peace, generally people peace of mind depends on others. Really speaking, in short, if such gnanam we don't have, but still we would like to become a cool, we would like to become a calm, then what is the key? So we can remain a peaceful. The only key is our remote control of happiness should not be in others' hand. I always. Because in remote control, we keep on pressing different type of button and channels shifted. Same way, some person says, now I will speak this sentence, you see what happens to him or her. It says our remote control is in others' hand. Why should we give our remote control on others' hand? And how can we keep our remote control in our hand? The only one, in my thinking, is we need one not person something with whom we always comfortable. We need a one person in our life with whom we always comfortable. Let me say, it never be in our family members because they have their own mood. But only one thing with whom we can have always comfortable relationship is Ishvara. If we give our remote control to Ishvara, we say, you please keep with you, you do whatever you like, then we never disturb. But we are disturbed because our remote control is others' hand, people's hand. And this relationship with Ishvara never gives any type of jerk in our life, whatever comes. Let me calm. Even I say, it doesn't mean we should not desire. But whatever desire, it not necessarily be fulfilled. That also we can always suggest to our mind. Because even Bhagwan's desire is not fulfilled, so who we are? Bhagwan wishes is to stop war Mahabharata. He tried his best. Even Duryodhan was not understand. Then how people can understand our thinking? If we keep on suggesting our mind, then in spite of even Kama Kami, if we have our desire, still we remain happy, we remain cool. Somebody says, I am not going along with you because your thought process and my thought process is totally different. I say, let it be so. I have no problem. My thought process is always alignment with Ishvara. I have no problem. So one person talks or doesn't talk, doesn't matter because one thread with Ishvara is always with us. Without Ishvara, we are not Atmagyani, really speaking, but still remain cool. This Ishvara is the one medicine, one relationship with whom always we feel ourselves comfortable. Even I used to say, even my student, sometimes we are in anger, we can scold Ishvara. Sometimes we are in pain, so we can cry in front of Ishvara. Some we are happy, then we can share with Ishvara. Whatever we do, if we can do with Ishvara, then our relationship with others will remain same. But this relationship always with us and is always healthy. So let it be Apuryamanam, we cannot be. This is the ultimate of Atmagyani, but still, relatively Apuryamanam, relatively Achalam, how can we be that this is only key? No? One good relationship only with Ishvara. Because each and every person has its own background, each and every person has its own brought up. Each and every person has their own education, and each and every person has their own experience gone through. So they have made up mind with different kind. We cannot expect everything what we like. So better we can give respect to all, but at the same time, we can be comfortable with Ishvara only. This is the best life we can live. We can help us. We can others. At the same time, we can help us also. This is Apuryamanam Machalam Pratishtham. Still, any question? So let me do unmute. Any question regarding this? No question?
So nice. It's really nice.
Yeah, even I was about to say that.
Yeah. Very nice.
Swaminiji, I didn't realize you pointed out, which is very nice. Even Lord Krishna couldn't fulfill his desire. He couldn't stop the war.
Yeah.
Who are we to,
Yeah.
Yeah.
expect all our desires be fulfilled?
Amazing.
Yeah. In Gujarati, there is a graha. This in graha means a planet, no? But in Gujarati, the graha means our own expectation is called graha. So always I used to say that 9 planets, they never hurt us, but our own expectation for others. Always they become more discomfort to us. So anything else?
And I think we talked about it sometime back. In Narada Bhakti Sutra, there is a sutra that says, Kama Krodhabhimanadikam Tasmin Neva Karaniyam. Says, whenever you are angry or you have desire or any kind of emotion, you turn it towards Ishvara.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if anger also turn over Ishvara, even happiness, whatever our emotions, need not to show to everyone, we can show to Ishvara. Then he will take care. Without knowing also, we will be taken care by Ishvara. This is the best. Otherwise, we always expect something, happiness from other, no? This is the problem. That's why we always...
Swaminiji, like what happens is like when you are in the grip of that emotion, very powerful emotions, for example, when you are in the grip of it, it is very difficult to dissociate from that and think of Ishvara,
Yeah. But if we always thinking of Ishvara, no, then at that time Ishvara helps. So
Yeah,
that's why relation should be, we have to keep. Otherwise, we cannot think at that time of Ishvara.
Right. I mean, like in my case, Swaminiji, sometimes I think I get frustrated and I say, Ishvara, how come I am not able to think of you?
This also Ishvara, no?
Because you know that there is a state of mind in which you are perfectly peace when you are with Ishvara. And when you are going through this powerful emotion, you cannot dissociate from that and rest in Ishvara,
Yeah.
And so you complain to Ishvara that you are not able to do that.
But still Ishvara is there. Then he will take care somewhere. Sometime we don't know even how he has taken care. But definitely he takes care. Unknowingly. Sending some person also. We don't know. But that person also is sent by Ishvara only.
Yeah, so as you said, Swaminiji, we should not think of Ishvara at the time of crisis or whatever, the happiness. Yeah. Always you should think and talk to him in a way you want to keep like a friend or father, whoever, guru, whatever the form of people. So then you will automatically complain go to him.
So this is the best place to complain. This is the best place to cry. This is the best place to share. Whatever, you know.
True. No predetermined notions.
This is the thing.
Very nice.
How are you, Priyanka? Fine?
Good, Amma. How
How
are
is-
you?
I am fine. But how is your meditation is over?
Yeah,
Sadhana
it's
med-
over, Amma.
Over. Okay, good. Any question? No question, no?
No question. Very clear, Swamiji.
Clear, no?
Yeah, very
Okay.
nice
Clear.
also.
Yeah,
Have
thank
to
you.
practice, put it in action. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
Start
difficult part.
training the mind to think about Ishvara.
Yeah.
Very difficult though.
Very-
I mean, Swaminiji, like, sorry, one point. It is very interesting. Like, the Buddhist schools, the Zen schools, they place very much emphasis on observing your emotion, thoughts.
Yeah.
But then they don't have this concept of Ishvara.
I don't know how they manage, you know.
I know it must be very tough. I mean, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. It's very tough.
yeah. I mean, that's why I always say that, you know, our forefathers, you know, they are such genius, you know, that they figured it out that,
Yeah.
that we can rely upon Ishvara.
Yeah. What was that psychological? I forgot. Pujya Swamiji used to give the name psychiatric, very well known.
Freud, Sigmund Freud.
Pujya Swamiji used to say, he says, everybody's person, we need one relationship which always we remain. Otherwise, we shattered anytime, we don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
And we cannot trust, it's not trust, but we cannot rely on people because they have all some, no, they have their own, some, that's why,
Yes.
problems.
I mean, it's like a person who is drowning in water. He is grabbing another person who is
person,
also
yeah.
drowning.
Yeah.
So Pujya Swamiji used to say, if two persons are got married, one person has one problem, and people start thinking if he gets married, no, so he will be settled. But another person also has some problem. So problem plus problems become square, no?
Yeah, this is true.
Still people thinks like that. Let him let her married, then everything will be stable. He never gets stable. Without understanding, nothing will get stable.
I think this is why they say bhakti is like the easiest path, but it's also,
Yeah.
I think, the toughest.
Yeah.
Till you get it, it's the toughest. Once you get it, it's the easiest.
I mean, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says this all the time. Throughout his gospel, he keeps on saying bhakti is the easiest path.
Yeah,
Bhakti is the easiest path. You know, just
but
you
yeah.
don't really understand what he's saying unless you really, you know.
Hmm.
Try it.
So shall we do Purnamada now? Om
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti
Hari
Harihi Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Harihi Om.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you so
See you
much.
tomorrow.
Thank you so
Swamiji.
much.
Thank you.